Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 11, Chapter 24. You are all I. Part 1 of 2. You must live in conformity with the basic ideals of our organization, the seva to which this organization invites you is the very first step in the growth of the spirit. Seva is the manifestation of your willingness to work irrespective of reward. For work is dedicated as worship. That attitude robs egoism of its sting and instills in the mind the divinity inherent in all creation. Faith in God is the very taproot of all spiritual activity, either through this organization or otherwise. There shall be a system and an order in the organization. Every unit has to follow the All India pattern. No state can arrange things in its own way. Mysore, Kerala, Gujarat, all states have to keep before them the same pattern and not venture on separate individual types of units. Every unit must respect and follow the rules and regulations laid down at the All India Conference from year to year. This conference is just a chance for you to move a day or two in good company and charge your batteries for further stages of the journey to God. When one is added to one, it becomes two. When one is placed by the side of another one, it reads as 11. That is the measure of satsang, the companionship of the wise and the good. All these petty ones must end up in that ultimate one. That is the ultimate goal, the journey's end. The Vedas direct man through karma, activity, into upasana, worship, and finally into jnana, the wisdom that breaks the shackles. When you surrender, give yourself fully. The leaders in each unit, that is to say, the president, vice president, the secretaries, and others, must themselves walk aright and be right. They must all join the Naga Sankirtan, the choral singing along the roads of the village or the town in the early dawn. If the rich and the influential sit at home and ask the rest to go and take part in the Sankirtan, we do not need them as presidents or office bearers. No unit must depend on such people, however rich they happen to be. Money comes and goes, but morality, once come, grows. Try to break the coconut with the fiber on. It is an impossible task. You have to take out the shelled nut from inside the packing fiber. Then, if you hit at the shell, the kernel becomes available for use. Remove the fibrous cover, sensual desires, so that you can get at the kernel of spiritual joy. Many of you declare, even before me, that you have surrendered everything to my will. But this is mere verbiage. Your mind is not your own. You are its plaything, tossed about as it fancies and frolics. How then can you claim to have given it over to me? You have to give yourself fully over when you surrender. Nothing should be held back. And what is it that you can call your own which you can give me? Your offering of homage is but pouring back into the Kaveri river the waters of the Kaveri. There is nothing credible in that. The weighing machine on which you stand and exult that you have put on 10 pounds since the last weighing in, laughs at your exultation. It chuckles within itself. Yes, when death overtakes you, you will be 10 pounds heavier for the undertakers. You have come into the world, which is a dharmakshetra, an abode of righteousness. So, be righteous. Practice what you direct others to do. Your destiny is not to achieve the peak of pleasure, but to climb the peak of bliss. Daya, compassion, and dharma, morality, will take you higher and higher until the summit. So practice these qualities even in your smallest acts to be the best of your capacity. You cannot always oblige, but can you not talk obligingly? You can, but you don't. The tongue has the extra power to harm and hurt, so you must exercise extra control over it. Do not pain anyone through your words. Spread love. Be full of love. If you cannot love man, how can you hope to love God? Develop indifference towards the accumulation of wealth or power. Dhritarashtra, who held on so tightly to his kingdom and his 100 sons, finally he had to lose his throne and live on in misery as the lone survivor of the dynastic downfall. Once there was a quarrel between Lakshmi, the consort of God Narayana and the goddess of wealth, with Jnana, knowledge, which was the intellect of Narayana. They began to argue that each was superior to the other. Wealth was more useful, said Lakshmi. Without knowledge, wealth is a danger, said the intellect. But Narayana intervened and said, both are either good or bad, according to the use man puts them to. Use the offices you hold to the best advantage, namely, to overcome your ego, to inspire others in the Godward path, and to relieve distress. Don't go through the routine of bhajan, dhyana, and naga sankirtan because you have to, or because you feel obligated that someone else might take your position if you don't continue. Share it with others. Act from the depths of your heart. Do not indulge in mere talking. Practice what you direct others to do, asserting that it is beneficial. When motives are purer, knowledge will be pure. Merge in God. Submerge your mind in divine activity. Liyate gamyate iti linga. That in which all merge, that to which all proceed is linga. God is called Chittachora, the thief who steals hearts, knowing that he does so because he treasures hearts. It is your duty to keep your heart pure, so that he will be even more pleased with the treasures he's stolen. That thief is your only well-wisher. The rest are interested in what you leave behind when you die. They search for your will and insurance papers. Youth, wealth, reputation, status, authority. These are all subject to quick ups and downs. There was once a young man who wasted much of his father's income and lived through college a number of years as an MSM student, that is to say, failing in the March examinations, appearing again for the September examinations, again appearing in March, MSM for short. At last, out of sheer disgust at his consistent feeble-mindedness, the university gave him a degree and got rid of him. When proposals were brought in for his marriage, he insisted that the bride must be a degree holder, a graduate. And a graduate she was. He reclined on an easy chair and sang, "My life is entirely happy now." He asked his wife, "Get me a cup of hot coffee," but she replied, "I am as much as a graduate as you are. Why should I alone prepare the cup of coffee? Come into the kitchen and make your coffee for yourself." Hearing his wife's reply, he sang a different tune. "My life is entirely darkness." When everything goes well, life feels like heaven. When things go wrong, it feels like hell. The same event is heaven today, hell tomorrow. Until your hunger is appeased, food is desirable. When it is appeased, food is a nuisance. When motives are pure, knowledge will be pure. When knowledge is pure, liberation is ensured. End of part 1 of 2. Dharwad, May 14th, 1971.